It wasn't until the security guard at the village river called me by a name I didn't recognize that I knew something was wrong. It was supposed to be a simple trip to the village river, to swim, fetch water, and laugh with friends. But sometimes, the river remembers more than it should. When the guard called me by a name I didn't recognize, I knew something was wrong. Because on that day we didn't just cross the river, we crossed into another world. This is The River That Remembers. A Tales by Savvy Sam. Before I continue this story, please like, share, and subscribe to Tales by Savvy Sam for more amazing Nigerian stories like this. Trust me, you don't want to miss what happened next. The sun was already climbing the sky that Saturday morning when our group, me, Obi, Joy, Ada, Okoro, Prince, and Amaka, set out for the village river. The dry season in Okoro was always hot and dusty, and the river was the only place everyone wanted to be. The men carried yellow jerrycans, and the girls packed bags filled with food, fruits, and soft drinks. We had planned this trip for weeks. The road to the river was long, about a 2-hour walk from the main village square, but it was always worth it. The fun wasn't just about swimming, it was the laughter, the games, and the sense of freedom. We told stories, sang old high-life songs, and teased one another as we went along. Obi was the group clown, always cracking jokes. Ada and Joy walked arm in arm, whispering about the latest gossip in the village. Prince was quiet, lost in thought as usual, while Okoro and Amaka led the way with loud banter. When we reached the big wooden gate that marked the river boundary, a new security guard stood there. He wore a faded uniform and dark glasses that hid his eyes. As we approached, he smiled strangely and said, "Chibuzo, you came back again." I looked around, confused. "Sorry, sir. I think you're mistaking me for someone else. My name is Emeka." The man's smile vanished. He tilted his head slightly. Remember me? I'm the one you gave your old radio last month." My friends burst out laughing. "Oga, you don't see this face before?" Obi said, still giggling. "This Emeka never get radio talk less of giving you one." But the guard's expression didn't change. He just waved us in slowly, his eyes following me longer than felt normal. As we passed through the gate, something inside me felt uneasy, like a cold wind had brushed against my spirit. The river was wide and sparkling, with children splashing water at one another and women filling their buckets. Yet something felt off. The air seemed thicker, and the sunlight shimmered differently. It was as if the world had shifted slightly, just enough to make everything look too perfect. "Guy, are you all right?" Joy asked, noticing how quiet I'd become. "I'm fine," I said, forcing a smile. "Just tired." We dropped our bags under a tree and ran into the water. For a while, everything felt normal again. The laughter, the cold rush of the river, the taste of roasted corn we brought along. It was all the same. But when Ada pointed at a group of villagers washing clothes, I froze. "Wait," she said. "Is that Mama Ifioma?" We all turned. It was indeed Mama Ifioma, but she looked much younger, maybe 30 years younger, and her skin glowed as if she never knew hardship. She waved at us cheerfully and called out, "Obi, my son, you've grown so tall." Obi looked shocked. "That's not possible," he whispered. "Mama Ifioma died 3 years ago." A strange silence fell among us. Joy dropped the mango she was holding. Prince muttered a prayer under his breath. Okoro, ever the brave one, tried to laugh it off. "Maybe she has a twin sister," he said weakly, but his voice shook. I wanted to believe that too, but something deep inside told me this wasn't our world anymore. The sky darkened slightly, even though it was still noon. The river's surface rippled as if it were alive, whispering faintly. I heard my name, or rather, the strange name the guard had called me, echo across the water. "Chibuzo." I spun around, heart pounding. "Did anyone hear that?" Amaka frowned. "Hear what?" The voice calling my name. They all looked at me blankly. "No one called you, bro," Obi said. "Maybe the sun is frying your brain." But the whisper came again, clearer this time, carried on the wind. "Come home, Chibuzo. Come back." The water at my feet felt colder now. My reflection in the river didn't look right. It blinked before I did, smiled when I wasn't smiling. I stumbled back, shouting for the others to look. But when they did, all they saw was normal water. "We should go," Ada said suddenly. "Now." But the path we came through was gone. Where the gate used to be, there was now a dense forest. The laughter of children had faded, replaced by distant echoes. Everyone looked at one another, fear slowly spreading through our group. "What's happening?" Joy whispered. No one answered. The air around us shimmered again, and from across the river, figures began to appear. People who looked exactly like us. My heart stopped. There was another me, standing on the other side, waving. And behind him stood duplicates of my friends, all smiling strangely, their eyes glowing faintly in the afternoon sun. Obi whispered, "Guys, tell me I'm dreaming." But none of us could speak. The copies began walking toward the water, their reflections moving differently from their bodies. Every step they took sent ripples across both sides of the river. And for the first time in my life, I truly felt afraid of the water I had grown up loving. For a long moment, none of us moved. The wind whispered through the trees, and the strange sound of rushing water filled our ears. Across the river, our doubles stood silently, each one looking exactly like us. The same faces, the same clothes, even the same jerrycans and bags. Only their eyes were different, brighter, sharper, almost glowing. Joy grabbed my arm. "Emeka, let's go back. This thing no be normal." "I know," I said, trying to sound brave though my voice trembled. "But where will we go? The road has disappeared." We all turned to look at the thick forest that had replaced the path. It was dark and endless, with mist curling between the trees. The laughter of birds had gone silent. Even the air smelled different, heavier like rain mixed with smoke. Okoro, who always acted fearless, picked up a stick and threw it across the river to see what would happen. But before it could hit the water, it vanished mid-air. "Just blink." Ida screamed. "Jesus, did you see that?" "I told you this trip was a bad idea," Prince muttered, clutching his rosary tightly. "Something spiritual is going on." Obi tried to make a joke, but his voice cracked. "Maybe our ancestors are playing hide and seek with us." "Stop talking nonsense," Amaka snapped. "Can't you see what's happening? This is not our river." The other versions of us, our doubles, began to move again. Slowly, they stepped into the water, walking towards the middle. But instead of sinking, they stood on top of the water like it was solid ground. And then the one that looked like me, the other Emeka, raised his hand and pointed at me. "Come," he said, his voice echoing on both sides of the river. "We've been waiting." My heart pounded so hard I could hear it. I stepped back, shaking my head. "Who are you?" The copy smiled faintly. "I'm you, Chibuzo, the one you were meant to be." Joy started crying softly. Ada held her and whispered prayers under her breath. Obi, who had been standing still all this while, suddenly shouted, "We didn't come here to play spirit games. We just want to go home." But as soon as he said that, something strange happened. The water rose like a wall between us and the other side. For a second, it looked like the river had turned into a giant mirror. I could see the reflection of the sun, the trees, and even our scared faces, but they weren't exactly ours anymore. In the reflection, I saw myself smiling confidently, surrounded by my friends who looked happy, strong, and unafraid. They looked like the better versions of us, like the lives we always wanted. "Maybe they are showing us what our lives could have been," Prince whispered. "Like destiny or something." "Destiny doesn't come with doppelgangers." Amaka snapped, tears in her eyes. We didn't know what to do. Everything felt unreal. The colors of the trees were too bright, the sound of the water too loud. I touched my arm just to make sure I was still solid. Then, from behind us, we heard movement, footsteps crunching on the dry leaves. We turned around quickly. A man was approaching from the forest, carrying a lantern even though it was daytime. He was old, his white beard long, and his wrapper tied loosely around his waist. "Children," he said in a deep voice, "you have crossed the thin line." "Who are you?" Prince asked. The man's eyes were kind but heavy with sadness. "I'm the keeper of this river. You are not supposed to be here." "Please, sir," Ada begged. "We didn't mean to. We just came to fetch water." He shook his head. "The moment the guard called you by another name, you should have turned back. This is the mirror side, a world that reflects yours but is not the same." "The mirror side," I repeated. "Yes," he said. "Every river is a gate. Sometimes, during the dry season when the land is thirsty, the gates open. Most who cross never find their way back." Joy began to sob. "Please, how can we go home?" The man looked toward the river, where our doubles now stood perfectly still, watching us. "They are your reflections," he said quietly. "They want to take your place in your world." "What do you mean by that?" Obi shouted. The man turned to me. "If you stay here too long, they will cross over and become you. You will remain here, shadows in a world that doesn't belong to you." My blood ran cold. "So how do we go back?" "You must find the echo stone," the man said. "It lies deep in the forest. It will lead you back to your true path. But beware. The forest doesn't like strangers." Before we could ask more, he slowly faded away, just disappeared into thin air, leaving behind only the faint smell of smoke and rain. Ada grabbed my hand. "Emeka, what do we do?" I looked at the river again. Our reflections were still there, smiling calmly as if they knew how this would end. The air shimmered once more, and the sound of drums echoed faintly from the forest. I took a deep breath. "We find the stone," I said. "That's the only way." So, with fear in our hearts and the unknown ahead of us, we turned toward the dark forest. The sound of our footsteps echoed strangely, like there were more than 7 of us walking. As we entered the forest, the trees seemed to move slightly, closing behind us. And somewhere far away, I could still hear my reflection's voice whispering softly, "Come back, Chibuzo, come home." The deeper we walked into the forest, the more it felt like the world behind us was vanishing. The air was heavy and wet, even though it hadn't rained. The trees were tall and twisted, their roots crawling over the ground like snakes. The forest floor was covered in dry leaves that whispered under our feet. Joy held my arm tightly. "Are you sure this is the way?" I nodded, though I wasn't sure myself. The old man said the echo stone is inside the forest. We have to find it. Suppose the man was not even real? Koro asked nervously. What if he was part of the trap? Then we pray God helps us, Prince said quietly, clutching his rosary as he walked. We followed a narrow path between thick bushes. The forest was strangely alive, not just with insects or birds, but with voices. Soft murmurs floated through the air. Sometimes it sounded like laughter, other times like crying. The strange thing was, the voices sounded familiar. At one point, Ada stopped suddenly and whispered, "Did anyone hear that?" We all froze. From somewhere ahead, we heard someone calling, "Ada! Ada, come back!" It was her mother's voice. Ada's eyes widened. "That's my mummy," she said in disbelief. "She's calling me." "No." I grabbed her arm. "It's not real. But I can hear her clearly." The voice came again, this time closer. "Ada, my daughter. Why did you leave me? Come home." Tears filled Ada's eyes. "It's her, I swear. Let me just go and check." Joy shouted, "Ada, stop." But Ada had already broken free and started running toward the sound. We chased after her, shouting her name, but the forest twisted around us. The path that had been straight suddenly curved into a circle. Every tree looked the same. I could still hear Ada's voice calling back, "I'm coming, Mummy." And then silence. When we finally reached where her voice had been, there was no one there. Only her slippers lying neatly on the ground. Joy fell to her knees, crying, "No, no, no. Ada can't just disappear." Prince whispered a prayer, trembling. "This place is evil. I picked up Ada's slippers and held them tightly. We keep moving. Maybe she's still alive. The forest is playing tricks. As we continued, we started hearing other voices. Obi heard his late father calling his name. Okoro said he heard his girlfriend laughing somewhere nearby. Each time I had to remind them it wasn't real. But deep inside I could hear my own mother's voice too. Soft, warm, calling me by that strange name again. Chibuzo. It sounded so real that my chest tightened. My mother had died years ago. Hearing her voice made me want to stop walking, to turn back and find her. But I forced myself to keep going. After what felt like hours, we came to a small clearing. In the center stood a large black stone shining faintly under the dim light that filtered through the trees. It wasn't big, maybe the size of a football, but it pulsed like it had a heartbeat. "That must be it," Prince said. "The echo stone." We all approached slowly. The closer we got, the louder the forest grew. The whispers, the laughter, the cries. It was as if every voice we'd ever known was trapped inside that stone. Obi reached out to touch it, but I stopped him. "Wait. We don't know what it will do." He looked at me. "Then how will we get home?" Before I could answer, the stone flashed brightly, and images started forming above it. Moving pictures like dreams. I saw our village, our homes, our real world. I saw Ada's house, Joy's mother cooking, Obi riding his old bicycle, Okoro's farm, and Prince praying inside the church. Then I saw myself, but not as Emeka. As Chibuzo, walking confidently with people cheering my name. "What is this?" Amaka whispered. "I think it's showing us the truth," Prince said. "Who we really are, or could have been." Suddenly, a dark shadow appeared in the images. Our doubles, the same ones we saw at the river. They were smiling again, standing at the edge of our village as if waiting to take our place. Then a voice echoed from the stone. "You don't belong here. Choose your side." The light grew brighter. The ground shook beneath our feet. The stone started to rise into the air, spinning slowly. We all stepped back in fear. The forest roared around us. "Hold hands!" shouted. "Don't let go." We grabbed each other tightly as the light exploded, blinding us. For a moment, everything went silent. No forest, no river, no sound. Only white light and the echo of my heartbeat. Then a whisper came again, this time clearer and closer. "To return, speak your true name." I tried to remember what the guard had called me. "Chibuzo," I said softly. The forest seemed to pause. The light flickered. I said it again, louder. "My name is Chibuzo." And in that moment everything changed. The ground opened beneath us and we felt ourselves falling. Not fast, not slow, but weightless, like drifting through water. When I opened my eyes, the light had faded. The stone was gone. The forest was quiet. But something was different, very different. Joy looked around and gasped. "Where is everyone?" I looked behind me. Okoro and Prince were gone. Only me, Joy, Obi, and Amaka remained. "What just happened?" Obi asked, trembling. I didn't know what to say. The only sound was the wind blowing softly through the trees. And then, faintly, from deep within the forest, we heard singing. The same old village songs we used to sing as children. But the voices were strange, slow, and distant. We turned toward the sound, and through the mist, we saw figures walking, carrying water pots on their heads. It was people from our village. But again they looked younger, different, like the past had come alive. Joy whispered, "Did we come back, or go deeper?" I didn't have an answer. I just knew one thing. The journey wasn't over. When we stepped out of the forest clearing, everything looked strangely familiar. The thick trees gave way to a wide, dusty path, and ahead of us stood the village, or what looked like our village. The sun was shining again, the same kind of hot afternoon light we'd left behind when we first arrived at the river. Obi shouted with relief. "We made it! We're back home!" But something in my heart said otherwise. The air still carried that strange, heavy quietness. Even the smell of the dust and smoke was different. Sweeter, almost too clean. Joy squeezed my hand. "Emeka, are you sure this is home?" "I don't know," I said. Let's find out. As we walked down the familiar streets, people turned and waved at us warmly. I recognized faces. Old Mom Nkechi sitting under her mango tree, Uncle Sunday repairing his bicycle, and children running around playing Sue. Everything looked normal, but the more I looked, the more I realized these people looked too perfect. Their clothes were spotless despite the dust. Their smiles never faded. Their eyes shone with a strange brightness, the same eerie light we'd seen in our doubles by the river. We stopped in front of the compound where my late mother used to live. The walls were freshly painted, the flowers blooming beautifully. I felt a lump in my throat. I hadn't seen this house so alive in years. Then the door opened, and there she was, my mother. She looked young again, the way she used to look before she fell sick. Her face glowed, her eyes kind. She smiled. "Chibuzo," she said softly. "My son, you're home." Froze. My throat went dry. Mama. Joy gasped beside me. "Emeka, that's your mother." I nodded slowly, tears filling my eyes. "But she's dead." Mama stepped closer and touched my face. Her hand was warm, real. "You've been away too long," she said. "It's time to rest now." Behind me, Obi whispered, "This doesn't feel right." He was right. As much as I wanted to hug her, something inside me whispered, "This isn't her." Her smile was too calm. Her eyes didn't blink. Then I noticed something. Her shadow on the ground wasn't moving with her body. It was completely still. I stepped back. "You're not my mother," I said quietly. Her smile widened. "But I could be," she whispered. Before I could react, she turned her head sharply toward Joy. "Joy, your father is waiting for you too." Joy shook her head. "No. My papa died in Lagos." At that moment, a man walked out from the next compound, tall, with the same face as Joy's father. He spread his arms. "My daughter," he called softly. "Come home." Joy screamed and ran behind me. Amaka grabbed her hand, trembling. "They're not real. Don't go near them." The entire village had started to gather around us now. All the faces we knew, neighbors, friends, even our school teachers, surrounded us, smiling that same empty smile. The children's laughter turned hollow, echoing like wind through a cave. Obi shouted, "We want to go home. The real home." One of the villagers, a man who looked exactly like Prince, stepped forward. "But you are home," he said gently. "This is where you belong now." "No," he yelled. "This is not our world." The sky darkened suddenly, and a strong wind blew through the village. The people's smiles began to fade. Their faces changed, melting and shifting like clay until all of them had our faces. Dozens of versions of us, smiling, crying, whispering. Joy fell to her knees, covering her ears. "Make it stop. Run!" shouted. We turned and started running down the street, but the road stretched endlessly ahead. No matter how far we ran, the same houses repeated themselves. The same mango tree, the same children playing, the same man fixing his bicycle. It was like being trapped inside a loop. Obi stopped suddenly, panting. "We're going in circles." I looked around desperately. There has to be a way out. Then Amaka pointed toward the center of the village square. "Look." In the middle of the square stood a well. An old, deep well we used to fetch water from as children. But now it was glowing faintly with blue light. Around it, the ground shimmered like waves of heat. "The echo stone brought us here," I said. "Maybe the well can take us back." Without thinking, we ran toward it. The villagers, or whatever they were, began moving after us, their voices blending into a haunting chant. "Stay, stay, stay." When we reached the well, I leaned over the edge. It wasn't filled with water. It was filled with swirling light, like the same mirror we saw in the river. "Jump," I said. Joy's eyes widened. "Are you crazy?" "It's the only way." Obi climbed onto the edge first. "If we die, I'll haunt you, Emeka," he said weakly, forcing a laugh. "See you on the other side," I replied. Then one by one we jumped. The air whooshed past us as we fell. No bottom, no sound, just endless falling through glowing light. My heart raced. I shouted my real name, Emeka, but the echo that came back was Chibuzo. Then everything went dark. When I opened my eyes, I was lying on dry sand. The sound of rushing water filled my ears. The river, the real river, the one we knew. The sun was back, the sky bright, and the smell of earth and palm trees filled the air. Joy sat up beside me, coughing. "We're back," Bea groaned. "I think so. But where's Amaka?" We looked around. The riverbank was empty. Only the three of us were there. Amaka was gone. And just before the water settled again, I thought I saw her reflection waving from beneath the surface, smiling softly as if saying goodbye. The sound of the river was the first thing that told me we were back. The familiar rhythm of the water, the hum of crickets, the chatter of distant voices. It all felt right again. But something still didn't add up. Joy sat beside the water, hugging her knees. Her face was pale, her clothes soaked. "Amaka didn't come back," she whispered. I looked around the riverbank. There were footprints in the sand, ours, but none led away. The jerrycans and food bags we brought earlier were still where we left them, though the sun had shifted far west. It was evening now. Obi rubbed his eyes, still in disbelief. "How long have we been gone?" I checked my phone, but it was dead. Joy tried hers too, nothing. It was as if time itself had frozen while we were gone. We decided to pack our things and walk back to the village before nightfall. The path looked normal again. The same dusty road, the same whispering palm trees. I tried to convince myself that everything was over, that we had escaped whatever that strange world was. But as we walked, we began to notice small things, subtle things that didn't make sense. The first was the silence. Usually by evening, the road buzzed with life. Villagers returning from farms, laughter from children carrying buckets of water, songs from distant compounds. But this time it was quiet. No voices, no footsteps. Only the dry wind brushing through the grass. Joy whispered, "Why is everywhere so empty?" We reached the village gate just before sunset. The same wooden gate where the strange guard had first called me Chibuzo. But the gate looked older now. The paint peeling, the signboard faded. The guard wasn't there anymore. When we stepped inside the village, I stopped in my tracks. Everything looked wrong. The houses were cracked and covered in dust. The mango trees had withered, their branches bare. The market square was empty, stalls abandoned. A torn poster on a wall fluttered in the wind, its words barely visible. I stepped closer and felt my stomach twist. The date on the poster was from 7 years ago. Obi laughed nervously. "No way. That can't be right." Joy's voice trembled. "Emeka, what's happening?" We walked deeper into the village. The air smelled of old dust and decay. Some of the houses we knew had collapsed. The church roof was gone. Chickens pecked through dry soil, and the evening sky turned a deep orange-red. I saw a group of children playing in the distance and felt a wave of relief. Finally, signs of life. We ran toward them, shouting, "Hey, please, where is everyone?" The children stopped playing and stared at us. Then one of them, a tall boy with bright eyes, said quietly, "You look like the people in the old story." "What story?" I asked. "The story of the 7 who vanished at the river," he said, stepping back. "My grandma told me that long ago, some young people went to fetch water and never returned." My heart froze. "That's not possible. We just left this morning." The boy frowned. "This morning? Uncle, that was years ago." Joy covered her mouth. Obi muttered, No. We ran to my house. The compound was covered in weeds. The door was gone, replaced by planks. Inside, dust coated everything. My old mother's picture still hung on the wall, but it was faded, eaten by time. Then I saw something that made my blood run cold. On the wall beside the photo, someone had written with charcoal, "In memory of Emeka, Ada, Joy, Obi, Okoro, Amaka, and Prince, lost to the river 2018. I fell to my knees. My chest felt tight. "That's us," I whispered. Joy started sobbing uncontrollably. Obi just stood still, shaking his head. So, are we dead? I touched the wall, half expecting my hand to pass through it. But it was solid. My heart still beat. My breath still fogged the air. No, we're alive. We have to be. But deep down I wasn't sure. We heard footsteps outside and turned. A woman stood there, old, frail, holding a lantern. She stared at us for a long moment before whispering, "You shouldn't be here." "Please, Mama," I said, stepping closer. "We just came back from the river. What happened to everyone?" Her eyes filled with tears. "Ah, you are the ones. The ones who disappeared." "Disappeared?" "Yes, people searched for you for weeks. Your families mourned. They built graves by the river." Joy trembled. "We didn't die, Mama. We fell into something. We saw strange things. The woman shook her head slowly. "Sometimes the river keeps those it chooses. If it lets you go, it means it wants something in return." "What do you mean?" "Yes." She sighed deeply. "It means you're not free yet." Before we could say anything more, the wind picked up. The trees outside began to rustle violently. The air grew cold. From the direction of the river, a faint humming sound rose, the same chant we'd heard in the other world. "Stay, stay," Obi shouted. "We have to leave this place." We ran back toward the gate, but the sky had turned gray-black. The village behind us seemed to melt away into mist. The sound of rushing water filled the air again, louder, closer. I turned and saw shadows moving through the fog. Human shapes. Familiar ones. It was us, our reflections, walking slowly toward us, their eyes glowing. Joy screamed. "They've followed us." The other me, the one who called himself Chibuzo, stepped forward. "This world forgot you," he said calmly. "Let us take your place. You'll find peace in ours." I shook my head. "Never." But as I spoke, the ground beneath us trembled. The air shimmered like heat on tarred road. The forest and river began to appear again, overlapping with the village like two worlds trying to merge. Obi shouted, "Emeka, what do we do?" I looked at Joy, at Obi, at the reflection of myself standing across from me. I remembered the old man's words. If the river lets you go, it wants something in return. Then it hit me. Someone had to stay behind. "Go!" I shouted to Joy and Obi. "Run to the river. Don't stop until you reach the other side." They stared at me in shock. "What about you?" Joy cried. "I'll hold them back." Before they could argue, I turned and faced my reflection. "You want your place," said. "Then take mine." He smiled. "Gladly." I stepped forward as he mirrored me exactly. The air between us cracked with light, and everything went white. The world around me dissolved into blinding white light. I couldn't tell if I was standing, floating, or falling. The sound of rushing water filled my ears, soft, rhythmic, like a heartbeat. When the light faded, I found myself back at the riverbank. But it wasn't the same river I knew. The water was perfectly still, glowing faintly under the moonlight. Mist drifted across the surface like breath. Everything was silent. Across the water I saw them, Joy and Obi. They were standing on the opposite bank, calling out my name. Their voices faint but desperate. "Emeka, come on. You can still make it." I tried to step forward, but my feet wouldn't move. I looked down and saw that the ground beneath me was no longer solid. It was soft and rippling like liquid glass. Then, from behind me, came the voice I had feared and yet somehow expected. "You made your choice. Turn." My reflection, the other me, the one from the world beyond, stood there calm and composed. He looked stronger, more certain. His eyes glowing with the same pale light as the river. "You can't take their place," I said quietly. He smiled sadly. "No, but neither can you return." I clenched my fists. "Then why did the river let us go?" "To show you what is forgotten," he said. "The river remembers everything. Every name, every promise, every soul that ever touched its water. You crossed between worlds, Emeka. You walked where only spirits walk. The price of return is remembrance. I didn't fully understand, but his words felt heavy, true. I looked across the water again. Joy was still shouting, crying. Obi was waving frantically, urging me to move. I took a deep breath and stepped forward. The water rippled but didn't swallow me. Each step felt like walking through memory. Flashes of my mother's laughter, the old village market, the day we left for the river. Everything played around me in fragments, fading and glowing. When I reached the center of the river, a strange calm settled inside me. "Go," said the other me. "Go back, but remember this. When the river sleeps, it dreams of those who loved and lost. Keep it asleep, and you'll be free." Before I could answer, he began to fade, dissolving into the mist. I felt a strong pull, like the current was dragging me upward. The last thing I heard was his whisper, "Remember us." Then darkness. When I opened my eyes again, I was lying by the river, coughing. Joy and Obi were kneeling beside me, tears streaming down their faces. "Emeka! Oh God, you're alive!" Joy sobbed, clutching my hand. Obi helped me sit up. "We thought you were gone. You just disappeared into the light." I looked around. The village was different again, alive. Smoke rose from cooking fires. Voices carried on the evening breeze. Children were laughing somewhere in the distance. The mango trees were green again. We were back, truly back. But something was off. When we reached the market, people looked at us strangely. Not with fear or shock, but confusion, as if we were strangers. The old woman who had spoken to us before passed by and didn't recognize me. Joy whispered, "They don't remember us." And she was right. No one did. Our families, our friends, all looked at us blankly when we approached. It was as if we had never existed at all. That night, as we sat under the moonlight near the river, I thought about what the other me had said. The price of return is remembrance. The river hadn't killed us. It had taken our memory from the world, erased us so we could live again. We had crossed into a place beyond time, and the world had simply moved on without us. Joy was quiet for a long time before she finally said, "Maybe it's better this way. Maybe we're meant to start again." I nodded slowly. "Maybe. But we'll remember for them." She smiled faintly. "Then the river will sleep." Years passed. We built new lives in another town far from the river. Obi opened a small workshop, fixing radios and generators. Joy became a teacher, helping children read and write. As for me, I wrote stories. Stories about forgotten places, about people who vanish and return changed. Sometimes when it rains, I walk to the edge of a small stream near our home. I sit there and listen to the sound of the water, soft and endless. And sometimes if I listen long enough, I can hear faint whispers, laughter, songs, the echo of old friends. One night, as the rain poured and thunder rolled, I saw a reflection in the water. My reflection, but different. Peaceful. Smiling. I nodded at him and he nodded back. Then he faded into the ripples. The river was asleep. And this time I knew it would dream kindly. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Tales by Savvy Sam. The river that remembers teaches us one thing. Even when the world forgets, love and memory can bring us back. What would you sacrifice to return home?